Good morning, party people. It is Will Pemble. It is Sunday. It is early in the day on Sunday, and the garage door is coming up. So we're going to do some stuff today. Over the Christmas holiday, I had some fun, and I got a 3D printer, which we're going to use to make parts for the coaster. I got it all set up, and I have just one little thing to get fixed before it's going to actually work. I did some troubleshooting. Here is a quick look at some of the troubleshooting that I did on my 3D printer so that I could make sure I had done everything to get it going. And now I gotta kind of wait for tech support, but we'll get it going. But here's my troubleshooting technique. Check this out. Come on!
Dad!
For some reason it didn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. It's still not completely fixed, but I will get it under control because we will need this to print bits and pieces for the cart, and we'll need it to print bits and pieces and fittings for putting the track together and stuff like that. And so 3D printing is becoming part of our world. I may do a bunch of tutorials about 3D modeling and printing if you're interested. Let me know in the comments. Say, hey Will, yeah, I'd love to learn how to do 3D stuff because I could teach you that. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here I am at the end of my lift hill, and I've got my handy dandy level here. And if I just look at this, what I see is that this reads about 60. Now don't worry about absolutes because this is really going to be like 5 degrees downslope once it's all set up. But right now we've got a 60. And then let's go to this part of the hill, which will be the uphill part. And then we see that now goes to 113 thereabouts. So that's about 53 or so degrees, and so that means there's a nice little downward slope into the lift hill. And then when we come off the top of the lift hill, let's see what our angle is going to be here. It's going to be about 57 or thereabouts, right? It'll be about 57. So this will be a downhill slope coming off the top of the lift. I'll be able to adjust these angles a little bit once we get the thing set up, but mainly what we're going to do is this works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with this. As you might remember from some of the other videos, I am using this tubular steel. It's rectangular tube. It is 11 gauge wall thickness and 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And so what we get is we get a really nice cross section for stiffness of the ties, and we also keep it pretty light. And as you may know, steel is about 30 times stronger than wood, and so this will be plenty strong to hold the ties together and also allow for the wheels and everything to pass by once we get the rails set up. So I'm going to chop up a couple of these and get to welding. Okay, so now I have 6 of these guys here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over to the grinding wheel, and I'm going to I'll come in a little bit close. If you'll see, if you look at the end of this thing, it needs to be ground off a little bit. What you see is that this is square, right? This is a flat surface, but it's going to be connecting to a round pipe. I don't want that gap in between there. What I want is the flat ends of this pipe to connect the long ends and the flat ends, and I want this to connect really, really smoothly and fluidly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my grinding wheel, and I'm going to just make a little cove in each of the ends of each of these. It's a little painstaking, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna round out these just a little bit, and with my trusty grinding wheel, and then we will start putting stuff together. Okay, so now if you look close, you can see there's just a little cove in the edge of the thing here. So when the rail connects to this tie, it'll be a nice snug fit, and then any gaps, you know, this is not perfect as with everything I do. Any gaps I'll fill in with just like, you know, welding wire. But we'll turn this all into one piece of metal. So I feel like that gives it a much snugger fit. It positions the tie right along the center line of the rail, which we really need to have happening. So I'm very happy with this. The next thing we're going to do is pop some of them in there and go do some welding. Okay, so again, like I say, these things are gonna fit in here, and then we're gonna clamp them real tight and turn this into some roller coaster track. Yo, welding machine. I'll be right back. And now my favorite part. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with this, and I'll see you when I've got it all put together. Let me show you what we got. I have been welding and welding and welding and welding. This is the finished track for the lift hill. And as you can see, it goes all the way up. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna put the rail, the channel for the chain on there. That's the channel for the chain. I'm gonna go get the chain. Okay, so I don't know if I've shown you this before, but here it is. We have number 50 roller chain, and it's called double pitch chain, which means the distance between the links, or the length of the links, is actually double what it normally would be on a number 50 chain. And so these are 1 1/4 inch links, which is going to make it really easy for our little finger, our little chain dog thing, to grab, so that when it gets pulled up the hill. And so that's why I got double pitch chain. So there's that. Have a look. So you can see I've put the channel for the chain about a little bit off center, because I don't want to interfere with any of the steering mechanisms that are built into the cart. I want the chain dog to come down right about here, but this is how it's going to go. And you can see this is all very welded. So now I have I have exactly 30 feet of chain, right? This stuff comes in 10-foot lengths, and so what I'm hoping is that I can use 30 feet, and that'll be enough to get me where I'm going. I think my channel is a little bit too long right now, because I don't know that I can stretch the chain. I might could stretch it a little bit, but not a whole lot. If you can take a look up there, I'll show you. It's just about to the limit. So maybe what I can do is shorten the channel up at the top by 6 inches or so, and maybe shorten the channel at the bottom here by 4 or 5 inches, and that'll give me 10 or so inches, and that might be enough to get my sprockets where they ought to go. Another possible way to engineer this thing would be to have the channel go down, and then I won't have to deal with this chain coming out of the track. If it went straight along this plane, what you can see is that the chain will pretty much sit in the channel, and I don't think the chain will come off the rails if we did it that way. So I may do that. Okay, so here's how I'm going to finish the day. This is the bottom of the chain lift, and so what I'll do is I'll put a sprocket down here, right there. That'll probably be the drive sprocket from the transmission, and then it'll go up the channel, and then up there I'm going to build a box that has a sprocket just off the end of that channel, and that way I'll get a fairly straight line. And then I also just kind of cobbled together this little chain guide that keeps it cool, keeps things together at the bottom, so if something gets wonky, the chain won't jump out. And I'll probably build a similar thing up there. And that's about all we have time for today. As you can see, the sun is starting to go down. It's getting a little bit dark in the sky there, and as you can also see, there is an incredible mess in the yard. So I'm gonna go and try to clean all of that up. Thanks for watching today. We will get the motor on this thing sooner and sooner. We keep getting closer. Please subscribe so that I can let you know when the next update comes. I'm doing 1 or 2 videos a week at least, and I will keep you posted. Thanks for helping me bring physics, family, and fun to kids everywhere. My name is Will Pemble, and I will see you next time.